Listeners of The Athletic. JB, kind of thinking a little bit bigger picture here, but going back to Orlando's game, the second Orlando game and today, what have you just seen from your bench and these past two games and how that'll help going into playoffs and kind of with the starters, I know obviously playing heavier minutes, but just their support in this?
Well, I mean, they can complement our starting group. And I think that's what we've seen. The guys who are going to play, a heavy amount of minutes, we were able to see different ways that guys can contribute that supports those guys that are going to play heavy minutes. And again, guys playing to their strengths, and I think we've got enough. Was there anything that stood out to you over these two games from the bench, from anybody in particular that got to be not see before, but just kind of really stood out to you? Again, I think we had a pretty good idea of who our guys were. And again, this just gave them an opportunity to get more reps and more minutes at it.
Sam to finish with 17 points, but as another piece, what did you just see from him and how he's kind of acclimated as well with you guys recently?
He's been good. He has the ability to create shots, and obviously he has the ability to make shots. So it's always good to have a weapon like that, and you never know. We were a series when I was in Houston, and we had Troy Daniels on our G League team all year, and he came in and hit two big shots to win a game for us at Portland. So you never know. Guys just got to be ready when their number is called.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, JB.
What's up, Chris?
Now that the regular season is officially over, where's your confidence level in what you guys can do against New York in the first round?
I'm confident in our group, period. I believe when we're at our best, we're a tough out for anybody. We need to make sure, we're aware and tighten up the details in our execution and all those things. And, again, it's going to be a new test for us. We have guys that are going to be in their first playoff series. So, it's never going to come easy. But I have a lot of confidence in our group.
What was it like today knowing that this was game 82 and there's plenty more for you beyond this?
It's what you do it for. Right? You want to be a part of something that matters, and being able to put yourself in a situation to be in the playoffs, your team matters. I with this group, go all the way back to the bubble and, not being invited to the bubble. And our guys, responding to that and taking huge steps and growing as individual players and growing as a team, to the point where, we've taken steps every year to get better and better. And that's what you want to see. And I think our guys have, again, I'm extremely proud to be a part of this group and work with these guys every day.
Thank you.
Ashley Bastock, Cleveland.com. JB, I know you kind of talked a little bit about this pregame, but what's the balance like in these immediate days of keeping guys in a rhythm, but making sure they're resting those nagging injuries, things like that?
It is that, you're walking that line, but you understand that the guys have to play. One, from a conditioning standpoint, two, from a rhythm and timing standpoint. You have to be prepared to play games, and you can't afford to take too much downtime. I think we've managed that pretty well down the stretch with our guys. But again, those guys are going to have to continue to play to get a rhythm and do some live and do some contact stuff.
And then even just the last couple of games, guys are getting to, sit with some of these nagging issues. The physical break obviously is positive, but them even getting a brief, mental respite. How hopeful, I guess, are you that might be a help down the line these days?
The NBA season is a grind. Physically, mentally, it is exhausting. And so sometimes it is good to kind of let your mind go and get away from the stresses of the game and come back refreshed. But this isn't a, time where, you can woosah too much. Because these games are going to be intense and you have to be locked in mentally. And that's not something that you just flip a switch on. That's something that you continue to build over time. So, the mental part of this is just as big, if not more, than the physical part.
Danny Cunningham, ESPN Cleveland. JB, is there anything you have to do differently to prepare guys for their first trip to the playoffs compared to guys that have been there before so many times?
Yeah, again, it's a lot of conversations, and it doesn't start this week. These are conversations that we've been having as long as we've continued to improve and put ourselves in these situations. And, again, until you feel it for yourself, you don't know what it feels like. So, it is, again, a learning opportunity for our guys, but they've earned it. And, again, we're confident that if they're just their best at who they are and to their strength, they're going to be fine.
Marissa McNeese, Chronicle Telegram. JB, touch on this a bit, and you've often this season mentioned a lot of these experiences have been new for these guys. How confident are you in what they've gained from those moments and what they've taken from that as you go into the playoffs?
Well, I mean, I think we've shown the ability to improve. Whether it's those back-to-back series that we've had where we've been able to play the same team and make adjustments and go out the next night and play and be successful that next night. Whether it's playing against, teams that are coming at us, trying to chase us down or whatever it may be. And I think we found our way through those moments. And so I am confident, again, that this group has learned and they can continue to get better at it. But I think we've put ourselves in a pretty good spot.
Daryl Ryder, 92 the fan. Now this regular season's over, just how much pride do you take in, taking a young team, 22 wins in your first year, a couple years down the line, here you are, 51 wins, home floor advantage, 4th seed in the East?
I'm happy for these guys. That's what kind of makes us go as coaches is like you want to see young guys get better. You want to see a team come together, and that's where we get our joy from is watching the team come together. You don't often, and I don't take this for granted, like you don't often get to see your product finished as a coach in our position. Typically, you go through something and then somebody else is reaping the benefits of it. So we are extremely fortunate to be a part of this group and that the group came together the way that it did. So I'm not, that's not lost on me. And again, I am appreciative, for these guys, for this organization, to be in the position that we're in now.
And you mentioned, having started the conversations about what to expect come playoffs a couple weeks ago and building up to now. Is it just a thing now where they just have to go out and experience it? There's not a whole lot more that you or even Donovan or anyone can tell these guys. They just have to go out there and find out for themselves at this point.
Yeah, and again, what our responsibility is to prepare them for the game of basketball. Right, so there are no questions on execution, coverages, those types of things. So they can be crystal clear there. And again, these guys, they've played in big games, right? They've been, whether it's high school, college, whatever it may be, like the NCAA tournament. So it's not like these guys don't have experience, right? But it's just not the same. There is no comparison between the NBA playoffs. But it's a basketball game at the end of the day. And if you go out and execute because you're prepared, you'll be just fine. And, our guys will be prepared and they'll go out and execute.
Last one, Nate. Nate Ulrich, Acclimating Journal. To your point, regular season playoffs are so different. And you guys, both teams were missing key guys when you last faced the Knicks. But to what extent can that be a tool for you as you game plan and prepare? Well,
and again, it puts your guys on alert, right? Like the game that Jalen Brunson had put us on high alert. And, I think that's a good thing for us, to have that appropriate fear of your opponent. So, again, we'll use it. We'll watch the film, we'll figure it out, and we'll be better.